What's up, guys? So I just wanted to make a quick video here talking about what I think as a beginner trader that you really need to focus on, especially when we're talking about options and all the ins and outs of them and all that fun stuff. So whenever you see these videos like the how to trade options for beginners or whatever, they talk about a lot of stuff, the Greeks and just a lot of different things, and all these things are very important to know. Okay, but at the end of the day, um, there's th- I, there's definitely more important stuff that you need to focus on because whenever it comes to options and we're trading options here, you have to understand that uh, what we're doing is we are trying to scalp premium price for a profit, right? It doesn't always have to be scalp, but we're trying to use the premium to sell for a profit later on when they become more expensive. There's a lot of different uses for options, especially whenever it comes to hedge funds or whatnot. They have a ton of shares, and if they want to get some insurance for those shares, obviously they'll sell some calls. They can buy some calls to kind of even out their portfolio or do whatever they need to do. But for for a lot of those trades, they're not really focused on the same thing that we are, which is buying and selling the premium for a profit, right? Um, so I kind of feel like those videos they are very good, and it's all stuff that you do need to know, and it's important. But people get super caught up, and this is kind of like in the last video I talked about almost thinking in like a robotic manner. People get super caught up with the Greeks and with the TA videos, the technical analysis videos, and the moving averages and all this stuff. And really, it's just it's that's not what's going to help you learn to become a better trader. Being a master of the Greeks isn't really going to help you. So I just kind of wanted to talk about what are some things that I uh, would tell someone who's just starting to focus on. Just me looking back, what I wish that I would have focused on whenever I first started. But so yeah, pretty much just definitely focus on the basics like the Greeks and whatnot, but you don't need to study them that hard. Really, just understanding what each Greek means is enough. Just knowing that obviously theta is going to be your time decay, delta is how much the price of the contract is going to move whenever the underlying moves a dollar in whatever direction, and just all the other Greeks as well. They're very important to know, but don't spend too much time getting caught up in them. Um, like I said, the way that they kind of describe it in the videos, you don't really need to know it like that. Whenever you're talking about just scalping premium, it's not really something that you want to be super focused on. And the same thing goes for the technical analysis videos. People will watch those videos, and let's see, I know where there's a pretty good example we can look at here today. But this one actually ended up working out. But people will watch those examples here, and for example, the chart patterns. We had a pretty good consolidation right here in NQ, which is Nasdaq futures, and you can see we actually did get the breakout here, but a lot of people will watch those videos and kind of get the idea that everything is a yes or no, or kind of like how I talked about in the last video, that it's like a binary situation, and that's really just not what it is. These patterns are kind of just to help you train your eyes to realize what's actually going on inside of it. So instead of focusing on the pattern, definitely train your eyes to be able to see it and notice it, but pay more attention to what is actually happening inside of this consolidation here, and pay attention to what has happened in the past here leading up to this, okay? Like I said, there's no yes or no answer or anything like that. It's all it's very speculative. So this stuff's really just here to help guide you through the market, and to help kind of guide you through price action, and almost use it as a stepping stone. It's not really something that you want to put your put all your risk into. So definitely focus on the basics and learn them, because they are important, obviously, to understand what's going on elsewhere. You're going to need to know the basics, but don't spend too much time getting so caught up in the Greeks. Definitely study them and know what they are. But knowing that a contract has a theta of 0.40 or whatever, it's really not going to help you in the long run. whenever you're trying to buy in and out of premium for a profit. And so that kind of goes along with the next thing I want to talk about, which is kind of just getting a feel for the overall market. It's very, very hard for me to explain, but whenever you have enough screen time and experience, you kind of just start to get a feel for things and you start to understand things more. Uh, Focus on your volume and price action indicators here. Volume down here. Study volume and study what's happening as far as price action and volume and how they intertwine and how they relate to each other. Study your VWAPs. Obviously, it's not going to be a cheat code, but using the VWAP is probably one of the better indicators that you can use. But get a feel for the market and just pick 4 stocks that you really are interested in. So let's say that you wear a lot of Nike. Pick Nike stock because you know you're naturally going to be interested in it, right? And study the price action of 4 stocks that you're super interested in, and just focus on those until you master them. If you watch those 4 stocks for long enough, you'll kind of just come across small little subtle things, and it'll kind of just boost your market knowledge overall and give you that feel that I'm talking about, and just kind of getting a good connection with the market and judging what's really going on the charts. And then another thing is that I kind of talked about in the last video as well is market psychology. A lot of people can't really grasp their head around what it means whenever you talk about market psychology, especially for newer traders, because it doesn't really make sense. Newer traders see all this technical analysis, indicator strategies, and I think this is the only thing that I need to learn to win, when that's not true. Pick out some good books. I mentioned this one last time, but Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's a great book to kind of just teach you how you need to get your mind to start thinking about market psychology. It's a very good starting point, and after you read that a few times, you'll definitely kind of start to get just an idea of what it really means and what I'm talking about when I say that. Another thing I would say to study is definitely study some indicators and see what their uses are. If we go to the indicators up here, obviously there's tons of them. If you go to the built-in, there's tons and tons of indicators. There's no indicator on here that's going to be better than another, okay? It's all about how you use it and how you comprehend it. So study the different indicators and study what they do, and try to find a combination. Like I said, I like to stick to the price action indicators. I use volume profile. I use VWAPs, anchored VWAPs, lots of different price action indicators, and I've just find ones that go well together and complement my trading style, and that's kind of what I go off of. Like I said, there's not one that's going to be better than the other. It's all about how you use it and how you think about it. So to get a full grasp on all the indicators, you got to go through all of them and study them. It can take some time for sure, but if you're actually serious about trading and wanting to do this, then it's part of the work that you have to put in, just like everybody else did. Another thing, study options chains and get a feel for them. Whenever you pick out your 4 stocks, don't just study the price action on the chart, study the options chain as well. Pay attention to what causes contracts to rise in value and what causes them to lose value. Price action is not always going to be what decides that. There's implied volatility. There's tons of different things. There's earnings that can jack it up, which is really just through implied volatility as well. But there's a lot of reasons why contracts can be very overpriced or underpriced. And the only way you're really going to start to realize that is by watching the options chain every single day and getting a feel for what's going on. It'll help you train your eyes to see when options are cheap, when options are expensive, and obviously that's all relative to the certain stock. For example, I can't really look at the SPY options chain and look at when contracts are cheap and expensive and use that to gauge a different ticker option chain. It's all very relative to the stock, and once you become comfortable with these option chains, one thing I can say, so if we just go to QQQ over here just as an example here, if I was looking at the QQQ options chain, right? So we're at about 369 right now. We're about 10 cents off, so we'll just call it 369. Um, I would be paying attention. So every single week, what I would look for is how much is a $5 out the money call that expires on the week. So over at 369, I would look how much is the 374 call that expires in a week, and look at that every single week. Obviously, if we drop down to 367, you're not going to be looking at the 374 one. It's going to be the 372. So just whatever's $5 out the money, pay attention to that and pay attention to how market makers price that. And by doing that, you'll be able to get a feel for when options may be cheaper or more expensive than you think they should be. And that's a huge part of options trading. You need to understand options pricing, and you need to understand how market makers are pricing the options and why they do it. Um, like I said, there's tons of different reasons why a stock could have expensive options or cheaper options. Pay attention to those things and start to understand how market makers are really pricing those, and why they are priced the way that they are. And the last thing I would say is, whenever you're doing all this stuff, especially at first, don't be scared to paper trade. I know we all see pictures of all these gains and we feel like we're missing out or something, and that if we jump right in, just right off the bat, we'll be able to see the same results. But a lot of the times you see all these gains, but you don't see the work that people put in to get there, okay? And you just you don't want to get too caught up, especially with your own money and you don't know what you're doing, okay? Thinkorswim offers an amazing paper trading platform, which is TD Ameritrade's kind of brokerage that they offer. It's called Thinkorswim. They have an amazing paper trading platform, probably one of the best that you can use, and you can use it completely for free. And for options, your data is going to be delayed a little bit on the paper accounts, but if you send them a message and you tell them that you're interested in funding a live account with them, but you want some practice on their platform, I'm sure they will be more than happy to give you real-time data on your paper trading account for free, without having to make a deposit into an actual brokerage live account. So don't be scared to paper trade. The market's always going to be here. It's not going anywhere, okay? There's going to be tons of opportunities every single day. So don't be scared to paper trade and try this stuff out that you're learning. It's all a process and it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. If you're trying to get into the market because you want quick money, then it's, to be completely honest with you, it's probably not going to work out, okay? You have to be willing to put in the work and put in the screen time that others have to get to where they are if you want to see the same results. So yeah, those are just a couple things that as a beginner I would really focus on. Like I said, I know a lot of these YouTube videos, they go super into depth about these very technical aspects, and all of these things are important. I'm not saying they're not important, but I feel like they kind of train your mind to think differently than you really should. They kind of trade your mind, or train your mind to think in a yes or no manner, but that's really not what it is. All this stuff is just to help guide you along what you're seeing with price. So yeah, just to go over, definitely study your basics, but don't spend all your time there. Like I said, it's just really not worth it. Work on getting a feel for the market. Pick your 4 tickers, your 4 stocks that you're super interested in. Like I said, maybe it's Nike. Maybe you have a pet, so you're a user of Chewy. That could be a good one too. Something that you just have a natural interest in. And obviously, market psychology is super important. It's one of the most important things that is very slept on by new traders, especially. Study your indicators, find out what all of them do, and then find a combination that works for you whenever it comes to those. Study your options chains, and then make sure that you're trying out all this stuff with paper trading. It's completely free to paper trade. You don't need to pay anything, and it's free practice basically. Obviously, when you're on a paper account, it's a little bit different than using your own money. You have to really stay disciplined whenever you're doing that, because obviously, if you know you have a $5,000 paper account, you can put all that 5,000 on whatever just for fun, let's say, and you know that there's really going to be no consequences. But really, that's not how you want to train your mind to think. Whenever you're paper trading, make sure that you're being realistic and trading how you normally would. Um, if this was a live account with your own money, or else you're not really going to retain anything that you learn. Um, if you're just going all in gambling on lottos or whatever it is on a paper trading account, and you, let's say, turn it from 5K to 50K, that really doesn't matter because it's not sustainable. It's not something that you could probably duplicate with your own money. So whenever you are paper trading, make sure that you're staying realistic and treating it like it is your own live account with your own money. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys out, especially sorting through all this information that's out there. There's tons of it, and it can get very difficult to sit there and kind of get through all of it and knowing what's actually important and what's just kind of something you don't really need to pay attention to. So yeah, I hope this video helped you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want me to make more videos like this. You can go ahead and leave a comment too. Let me know what videos you want to see in the future. If there's anything that you want me to cover specifically, I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave a comment and let me know. But other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.